Luke Skywalker is arguably one of the most notable characters in all of Star Wars, and I don't think you would have to argue much for that matter. From the first glisten in Luke's eyes of Tatooine's twin sons, to a room shrouded in dismembered droid parts, Luke's journey has been followed by millions for the last 40 years, and I believe for many decades to come. Born, of course, to none other than the Chosen One himself, Anakin Skywalker, and the strong-willed Senator, Padme Amidala. It is no secret Luke's lineage destined him for greatness, but we know it takes more than a bloodline to shift the galaxy. So what made Luke so special? What truly made him a new hope? Join me as I dive into my take on Luke's most powerful ability. I don't believe Luke needs much of an introduction, but just in case you may have consumed some blue milk from a questionable source, let me get you to speed. Luke Skywalker, born 19 BBY, was the son of none other than Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. He spent his early years living with his Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, working as a moisture farmer on the desert planet of Tatooine. It wasn't long until, despite his uncle's wishes, Luke started taking great interest in piloting and seeking adventure, much like his father. It wasn't until the age of 19 that Luke would have a fortunate encounter with a pair of droids made up of a sassy astromech and a rather uptight protocol droid. An encounter that would serve as a catalyst to one of the galaxy's greatest adventures. Upon returning the droids to what Luke thought was the rightful owner, he was introduced to the world of the living Force. Fast forward some time to the events following the fall of the Empire, and we see Luke becoming a powerful Jedi. He began to represent the new way of the Jedi, benefiting from the perspectives of the fallen Jedi before him. We've seen Luke canonically display some impressive feats of strength, like completely dismembering a small battalion of Death Troopers at the end of Mando Season 2. And even more impressive Legends feats such as Luke using all of his effort to move a black hole from his path. Whatever version of Luke we enjoy, he is certainly a Force user to be reckoned with. Now, like all of my videos in this series, I like to take a less than traditional interpretation of powerful abilities and discuss what is, in my opinion, the power of who they are that sets these characters apart. Luke arguably could have the most influential and important one of all. The revelation of Luke's true father, Darth Vader, was a surprising one for many reasons. As the original audiences first enjoyed the film, Vader was nothing more than a menacing, tyrannical murderer. Having to accept the poster boy of the rebellion had to come from such a cruel and evil father was anything but digestible. Like the audience, Luke too had to face the same fact. The only difference is that he had to accept it for himself. Luke undoubtedly was aware to at least a decent extent of the depths of Vader's brutal reign in the Empire, and if anyone reserved the right to declare someone as, "You're not my dad," despite the fact that he was, it would be Luke. After some time and reflection, Luke realized there was still good in him. Now, I don't know about you, but if I learned my dad was actually the greatest face of evil in the known galaxy, and only learned this after he decided to chop off my hand, there probably wouldn't be much talk of good. However, Luke is different. Behind the dark lenses of Vader's menacing mask, within the shroud of a long black cape, was a man named Anakin. A cry drowned out by a breathing apparatus, never to be heard. Both physically and metaphorically, Vader had drowned out all that was Anakin, but not to Luke. Luke possessed perspective like no other. He could see beyond the mask, and hear past Vader's aided breathing. Luke knew his father was in there. In fact, he was so convinced of it that he was willing to risk his life to prove it. Luke's practically faulty optimism was the cornerstone for Anakin's redemption, making way for the return of the Jedi and ultimately the fulfillment of the Chosen One prophecy. Anakin had destroyed the Sith, both Sidious and Vader alike, and great credit to his son, who could see the light in him even when Anakin couldn't see it in himself. I love that these videos are making me reflect yet again on why I enjoy Star Wars so much and enjoy these characters. I've always found that I related to this story and to the characters on this level of just kind of seeing who they are as individuals and who they are as characters, and less so who they are as these really awesome, fun, powerful beings. I do see them as that, but where I connect more so is on their reflections of real people and real life experiences. I don't necessarily think this story of Luke and Vader and his redemption is necessarily anything groundbreaking or revolutionary, I'm sure most people are quite familiar with it. I personally connect and resonate with this story on such a deep level. I find it truly inspiring that Luke really did see beyond Vader and beyond all of his mistakes and beyond everything that the galaxy saw him as and truly who he painted himself to be. I think Luke really saw the painter instead of the brush, instead of the canvas, instead of the painting. And that's something that's just so valuable, especially in this world. I wanted to end this video just with a really simple quote. We've all heard it a million times. Part of the final exchanges between Luke and Vader as he's giving his final breaths. I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you. You already have, Luke. You were right. You were right about me. Tell your sister you were right.